is being given to ADC. So, and I categorically, without missing words, I don't see PDP forming that block of opposition, forming that strength of fighting the APC before election.
Except they think they don't leave.
I'm just looking at if the person that is leading the PDP is a serving cabinet member of the APC, how can that be possible?
That don't forget there are factions included, so we don't have a particular leader.
Don't forget that court has nullified or has hosted out one of the factions.
Okay.
Recently, that is now making the Ironwood's faction to now planning to conduct the national convention and the congress that is going to take place. So there are many things happening in the PDP. So definitely there is nothing wrong with Mr. Gabriel to go and look for succor somewhere.
All right, thank you, Mr. Libari, for your opinion on that story. Let's move on to the next story. Nigeria's electoral reform efforts stalled again yesterday as the Senate emerged from a 4-hour closed-door session on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill without a decision, raising concerns that political sensitive transparency measures are being delayed as the country edges closer to future polls. The bill contains wide-ranging proposals aimed at strengthening Nigeria's electoral process, including mandatory real-time electronic transmission of results from polling units to the Independent National Electoral Commission results viewing portal, tougher penalties for electoral offences such as results falsification and ballot box snatching, and stricter accountability measures for presiding officers. Lawmakers entered the executive session at about 1:06 p.m. after Senate Leader Obayemi Bamidele moved the motion to resume the deferred clause-by-clause consideration of the report of the Senate Committee on Electoral Matters, chaired by Simon Lalong. The session lasted more than 4 hours, with plenary reconvening at about 5:30 p.m. However, the chamber offered no clarity on the bill. Addressing lawmakers, Senate President Godswill Akpabio said members had deliberated on issues concerning the Senate in particular and the nation in general before asking the chamber to affirm that the outcome reflected the work of the committee of the whole. Members agreed and the matter was closed without any public disclosure. Moments later, Bamidele moved the motion to adjourn plenary to today, which was adopted. It was the second time the Senate concluded deliberations on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill without making its position known, despite growing public interest in the legislation. Meanwhile, the National Conscience Platform NCP has warned that Nigeria is approaching a critical democratic crossroads, saying prolonged delays in electoral reform are deepening public distrust, suppressing participation and threatening the foundations of multi-party democracy. In a statement jointly signed yesterday by the platform's interim coordinators, Comrade Babatunde Agumbiade and Wale Ogunade, the group said declining voter turnout and stalled amendments to the Electoral Act point to a systemic failure that can no longer be managed with cosmetic fixes. Citing figures from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the platform said voter turnout fell from about 54% in 2011 to 35% in 2019, before dropping further to approximately 27% in the 2023 general elections. It described the trend as evidence of public resignation rather than apathy. When citizens withdraw from elections, democracy does not simply weaken, it begins to lose legitimacy, the statement said. The group noted that Nigeria now operates one of the most expensive electoral systems in Africa, yet public confidence continues to slide. Despite repeated investments in technology, logistics and security, elections are still widely perceived as failing to reflect the will of the people. As I said yesterday, we actually danced around this story. No, not this. Yesterday, the plenary, the House of Assembly resumed proceedings regarding the Electoral Act. But in the evening, we found out that it was stalled and reconvened to today. Let me get your thoughts on. Do you think this delay it could be due to the sensitive nature of the job given to the committee, or what's your opinion on that?
Okay, you know that there is no democracy without election.
Okay.
An election cannot hold without guidelines. And there's no electoral guidelines without the process that the Senate is going about now. House of Reps are they've passed theirs, waiting for the Senate, but the Senate has taken too long. And I'm going to put this in two I'm going to draw from two points of view.
Okay.
The point of view of personal ambition.
From whom?
I'm coming.
Okay.
And point of view of want to use the word that will not be that harsh. Okay, let me come. Now, we know that politicians, they are people who are drawn by personal ambition. Okay. Especially Nigerian politicians, they consider themselves before considering the nation. We have politicians who were poor, were motorcycle riders. After being elected, what they will do is to look for different places where they will go for vacations. Those who were activists, immediately they came into power, activism dies, they won't fight activists, what they were doing. So they all know that if the clauses in the political reform is being implemented, most of them will not go back.
Okay.
If there is clear, okay, let's just take the IRF. If things works the way it should be, and election results are transmitted from the polling unit directly, meaning that what is given at the polling unit is what will be seen on the IRF, and everybody can access the IRF, definitely most of our contemporary politicians who are occupying the Senate, the reps, the House of Assembly, who are occupying the governorship seat in the nation, will not go back. Because it now has to be with you, what you've done, the people judging you. Okay. So there are many factors coming from the personal, selfish angle of life. If this thing is passed, and another thing is that the governor, the presidency is in serious contention.
With and about what?
With the opposition. The criticism is too much. We know that last election was declared about 3 a.m. Yes, that was when declarations were made. About 3 a.m., which has not happened before.
Okay.
That the result of our nation was declared 3 a.m. So we know many of, and the chairman of the committee happens to be, I think he was the chairman campaign, the DG, campaign of the sitting president. So they understand these things. That's why I started from the personal interest aspect of this. Then let's now come to how tedious the work is. Any mistake made will affect the nation.
Yeah.
So it's something like what there are certain things that I came across. They said they want to take time to look at the clauses and make sure that they align. They don't want to make the mistake of assenting it into law, and after it has been assented, then they now discover that there are loopholes. You know what happened to our tax reform? On the long run, we were saying what we are having is not what was gadgeted.
Okay. So it could be a reason why this process seems stalled.
So there are many things involved, but since they refuse to talk, let us not cry more than the bereaved.
The national...
No, they are talking because they are part of the people that wants to use the... But the Senate, let's take it or leave it. Up till now, we've not known the final conclusion and the things that will be in the Electoral Act. It would have been that we've known that, okay, this one is out, this one is in, then we can now come out to talk. And another thing, let me come with the statistics given. One thing is that the political apathy in Nigeria is not helping us. It is expected that political socialization and participation should be on the increase, while apathy should be on the decrease. But Nigeria is unlike that. The apathy in Nigeria, if not taken cognizance of, if not addressed, if not worked upon, is going to affect us on the long run. And this is what we now bring about political nuisance. Because the more apathy strives, the more people no longer pay attention to leadership. And when people no longer pay attention to leadership, people start being unruly.
Okay.
So is either we work on it and make sure our people are involved. Even if you want to rig election, just let it be that the people are participating. But our politicians, what we've noticed that the more people are not participating, you can imagine when people are not participating and you are seeing results coming out from where maybe 3 persons voted, and you are seeing thousands of numbers of votes on the result sheet. So maybe we are now seeing political apathy as a tool, as an advantage to the candidate or to the party that wants to win, or the party that is winning through rigging. So this can also be one of the reasons why this electoral reform is being delayed.
Okay.
But all this being said, we are just bringing up from what has happened, what we feel is happening, until they bring out what they have.
Yeah, I get your point. But considering the fact that the timetable for elections seems to be drawing close, do you think the excuse of meticulousness in going through the electoral act would hold water, considering the fact that desperate times requires this? I don't think this is a do or die affair. This is something that and they are well qualified for this.
Michael, I said something earlier on. I said this thing can be drawn from personal interest angle of, because there's all tendency that certain clauses there have affected them. There's that tendency. Okay, let's look at how strict, if the electoral act provides strict discipline to vote buying, who are the people that do the vote buying? I cannot leave my house to go to the field and start giving money to people to vote. It's the same thing that do the vote buying. So when they say that this thing can affect us, you have to take time to look at how you can create a loophole around it. Let's look at the presiding officers. So there are different clauses in that electoral act that may be allegedly is affecting some of the people we have there. So they are trying to navigate, which is not healthy for what we have this year.
I was to go there because you just spoke about political apathy.
It's not healthy, because even me now, it's making me on the long run. If reps didn't take time, at the end of everything, our committee has been working. We are always referring back to the committee on electoral reform on this thing. We are always referring to the ad hoc committee. What is happening? It's long overdue.
Okay, thank you for your opinion on that story. We move to the next story, big book of time. A national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Nentawe Iwada, has said the political tension between Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and Simon Alayi Fubara, Governor of Rivers State, falls outside the party's jurisdiction. Iwada stated this on Tuesday during an interview with newsmen, noting that the APC leadership has no mandate to intervene in dispute because the two actors belong to different political parties. He explained that the impeachment controversy in Rivers State is strictly an internal matter involving APC members of the State House of Assembly and not Wike. According to Iwada, the party has established mechanisms for resolving such disputes. The APC chairman stressed that internal disagreements should be handled with discretion and maturity rather than being debated in the public space. We don't conduct these discussions in public. Issues are better resolved through internal processes that require maturity, he added. When asked whether Wike constitutes a problem for the ruling party, Iwada dismissed the suggestion outright, saying, never, never. In December 2025, Wike openly opposed Fubara's re-election bid, accusing the governor of reneging on an agreement they both signed before President Bola Tinubu lifted the emergency rule imposed in Rivers State. Lawmakers in Rivers State Assembly House of Assembly, aligned with Wike, also accused Fubara of spending state funds without legislative approval. The lawmakers subsequently initiated impeachment proceedings against Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odu, over allegations of gross misconduct. However, on January 23, Rivers State High Court adjourned the matter indefinitely, ruling that the Court of Appeal must first determine pending appeals filed by the Speaker and other lawmakers. The ruling effectively stalled the impeachment process. The national chairman of APC stating that Wike Fubara's feud is outside APC jurisdiction?
It's outside APC jurisdiction because Wike is in another political party. In fact, he's the leader in another political party serving in the APC.
Okay.
So with that, he does not have any answer to give to APC. He's answerable to the president directly. While Fubara is answerable to both the president, who is the leader of APC nationwide, and the APC as a whole. So, like what is rightly said here, the House of Assembly impeachment process is what the APC can handle, because the Speaker, House of Assembly, the Deputy Speaker, the majority leader, the leader of the House, they are all APC members. So that the APC can jump over it and jump into it and make sure it's settled. But the APC, the don't have the rights.
Irrespective of the fact that the current governor of APC of Rivers State is in APC.
Yes, the governor of Rivers State is from APC, so the person that is fighting him is not in APC.
Within our jurisdiction, does it mean our hands are off it, or there's a limit to what we can do?
No, we. Like, I mean, use the word we, does it involve me?
No, I mean, the national chairman of APC, what they can.
Reason being that, okay, let's come to this. If it's internal political affairs, the national chairman can jump into it. But this is not internal political affairs. This is something that cut across different political parties as it stands now, as they are portraying before us. That's what they are making us to see. One person is in the PDP, another person is in the APC. The other was in the PDP, he jumped to the APC for coverage or whatsoever, or maybe he has seen that the APC is doing what is right and he wants to go and align himself with the productive nature of the APC. While the other person is still in PDP but wants to flow with the flowing stream of the APC. So what is there now that APC national chairman does not have that say over the minister, whose name is mentioned, Minister Wike. Wike is not answerable to him. The only person that is answerable to him is the person who is the card-carrying member of the APC, who is the governor of Rivers State.
Okay.
And take it, governors signifying his ambition and intention of running 2027 is not what anybody can decide. It's what the party to which he belongs can decide. It's only the party that can decide that. The persons in the party are the people to decide. Either the National Working Committee agrees that the governor go unopposed, or they open the floor for him to contest during their primaries. If he wins, then his name is on the ballot. If he doesn't, he goes home. But in this, the APC is trying to tread with caution because of the organic base of supporters the governor has in Rivers State. And they don't want to lose the personality of Wike.
At the same time.
At the same time. And the same thing with Wike. Wike doesn't want to lose the grip he has over the PDP, and he doesn't want to lose what he's enjoying in the APC. And that is why there is this coalition that he has formed in the River State, the Renew Hope. So the thing is dicey, and the national chairman wants to tread with caution the best he could, which to me is not that healthy. Let me be frank.
Okay.
Reason being that by tomorrow, we don't know the plan of the ADC. I was sitting down and I was looking at something with the organic support of Peter Obi, now merging with the gladiators in ADC. If anything happens and Peter Obi lays hand on the ticket of the ADC, and based on some of the things that are happening now, the current governor of Rivers State leaves the APC to ADC and hold up to the ticket, it's going to be a tough fight.
Okay.
Considering what happened during the last election.
But he just switched to the APC not too long. So
that doesn't mean that we know our politicians. They know how to switch side based on their interests. Yes, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing restricts him from defecting. He does not have that restriction. So he can move. So they need to be very, APC needs to look into the, as far as Rivers State is concerned. And another thing is that the gladiators that are with, I was just looking at the timber and calibers of men who are with the coalition which Wike is heading, and I see them, I know that definitely if there's no harmonizing of interest, like what we said about the ADC in Lagos State, if there is no harmonizing of this interest, know how to navigate through them, it might end up as a problem. They might just focus on delivering the president at the national, come to the state, let's bacanize what we have.
Well, we hope we don't get to that.
So the national chairman is not wrong. And another thing is that Wike does not have any threat to them in the APC, because he's already working in the APC. He's a minister in the APC.
But this is no. I know you say it's dicey, but let's say this was during the time when Ganduje was an APC national chairman. Do you think he would take this? He would say he make the same statement?
Ganduje is not the national chairman. So if he was to be the national chairman, then we would have said. But this is what the national chairman has said, and the national chairman saying this means that is the party national working work committee that have said it.
All right, Mr. Libari, I think thank you. We're out of time, and thank you for being on the show today. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And this is how we wrap it up on this episode of Atn Politics. Don't forget, we are open for sponsorship of this program, jingles and advert placement, news and events coverage, personality, society and political interviews, products, service promotion, and commercials. Watch us live on www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Apple TV channel 205, Lime TV platform, iFastech platform, Apple TV, Nigeria TV, Eurocode TV. Connect with us on Atn socials, subscribe, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X at Atlantic TV Net. And don't forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Favor Chikwesiri Michael. Oh, thank you, Lord. Today was a success.